Online with us right now, our favorite person that we like to talk to every week, Brandon Jones from the Global Dispatch. Brandon, good morning, sir.
How is everyone?
We're doing well. How
We're
are you
doing
doing,
well.
sir?
Good.
Oh, I'm very, very blessed. Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you this question, and we talked about it in the first hour, but I just wanted to bring it up to you because I wanted to get your take on it. Did you see the Obamacare ads?
Yeah, that was kind of poor taste, right?
Well, did you hold on? Because you live in the Tampa Bay area as well. You've seen the Bright House commercials, right?
Like,
Yeah.
hello, friend.
Like Hello Friend, like the ones that are the beginning of Idiocracy.
Well, I think that, and obviously, sad to say, that's the target audience, right? And we're looking at 18 and 25-year-olds. How do we lock them in, convince them that they need to pay into the insurance they don't need, they need to pay higher premiums than they really should have to, because we need that money to pay for people that have pre-existing conditions. That's really it. So we will try anything and everything. If we got to have some guy smoking pot, I won't put it beyond them. They'll run that kind of ad.
Do you think that the population that is in that category, do you think that they are, and for lack of a better word, do you think that they're dumb enough to buy the ad?
Well, I think that they're already bought in. I mean, look at the demographics. The demographics are already showing that they're aligned with this guy. They're aligned with the party. They're aligned with this agenda. Most of them believe in Obamacare. The Occupy Wall Street had a very similar theme of the government should take care of me. So it's not really a stretch for an ad like this to work, because it's sort of kind of just cementing and reinforcing the stuff. And if it makes them laugh and giggle, that's kind of the whole Comedy Central part, right? It's all cemented. It's all that same sort of approach, and it's working very, very much on that demographic.
Oh, man, boy, I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong, too. I really do. But unfortunately, when I meet and talk to people, the biggest thing that I still find, and again, you and I talked about this off air, about how apathetic I feel about Obamacare, because I've been dealing with it for so long. It's people are just so not engaged until it actually shows up in their paycheck or their employer or hitting them in the face with their insurance company. They're not even going to deal with it. They're kind of like, yeah, whatever. And it's really sad that so much of our population just, they don't care. They got a video game to play, they got a party to go to, hey man, Friday's coming, and that's their priorities.
Well, no, and that's true. But let me ask the question a different way. Maybe not a different way, but when you go back to when you were 25 or when you were coming out of high school and stuff like that, the fact that you were waiting for Friday waiting for Friday to go party, and that you were drinking at night and stuff like that, I don't even consider that to necessarily be a bad thing. Because when I was in the Marine Corps, so I guess it was a little bit different at that time. Because as soon as I got out, I went to go working for old Uncle Sam there. But like, we would go out and we would drink heavily and then go to work the next day. Because when you were younger, you could actually do that more effectively than. I mean, I can't do that now. I go drinking on a Friday. I go drinking on a Friday night. I need Saturday to recover.
Yeah.
But do you think that mentality is something that's been going on for a long time? I don't think that part of the mentality is new. You're right in the fact that people are looking for things like Obamacare. But like, if you look at the Sarvis election, I'll give you an example of that. The places that he's gaining is actually in the youth. So the youth vote is going more libertarian, though.
Well, okay, I won't argue with you at all, and I actually, can tell you that I made the same kind of mistakes. I had the same kind of approach when I was in my 20s. I could care less, absolutely, of politics until we got to 9/11. I was that guy. Grew up Democrat, just a program voter, and that was it. But I think the problem with Obamacare is the Republicans are so incompetent, and, we still haven't really heard, is there even a plan as an alternative? I mean, when you have to use Boehner as your spokesperson to even discuss a House bill, we're already behind the eight ball, because he's a buffoon and he's a hypocrite. And it makes no sense at all. There's no hope, in my opinion, of really unraveling this thing and trying to put forth bills. So when we start to look at if the House can even move forward, the Senate's not going to ratify anything. So the best case scenario is we're at a stalemate with Congress as it is now with Obamacare, and he can kind of do whatever he wants to do. I found the authoritative nature of his speech very, very disturbing, because it was it's all about politics, and my headline reflects that, because it says, hey, let's kick the can until after the election. That's not the headline you're going to read anywhere else, because that's not what he said, but that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, blame me, don't blame Congress. I didn't know I was lying to you. These insurance companies, they can just give you like a year, and then we'll deal with it in a year. Translation, after the election. So the political gameplay and all that, we're kind of at a stalemate.
Okay. All right. No. And that's a very fair point there. That really is. And you're right. It's nothing but politics up there. They treat the American people like a game, and I think that the part that is kind of sad there is now you do have millions of people losing their health insurance. Like, you've created a system in which, because we went through the Florida numbers earlier, is that Danielle, how many people have lost insurance in Florida?
300,000.
And how many people have gotten insurance through the exchange?
3,571.
So, like, we're going backwards in the number of people that are covered. They're not trying to cover the uninsured. They're trying to make sure the insured don't have coverage. You know?
And that's kind of part of the gameplay, right? We want to make the entire goal of this, and I go back to, and I give Dennis Kucinich the most credit of any politician, because he wrote a letter to his constituents explaining this is nothing more than a path to get us to a one-payer system. Support us. This is what we're doing. This is the end game. That was back in 2010. So when you start to see the end result here of creating legislation that has made your insurance policy null and void, there's so many requirements and things that you have to do. And I made the analogy this way. I said, look, people love the car insurance analogy. Okay, so imagine tomorrow there's a law passed that now you have to have an insurance policy on your car that includes oil changes. Don't you agree that your policy is going to be raised tremendously? Most people will, yeah, of course. Exactly. That's what's happening. You're now being required to put in for a whole bunch of stuff that is not even something that you may be interested in. But you have to put it in because people with pre-existing conditions, people that weren't having those coverages, are now going to have them. You have to put that in. Your current policy is canceled. It's null and void. You can't use that policy anymore. You have to have a new policy, and that's what these insurance companies are doing. And for him to kick the can a year, it puts these companies in a real quandary, because the people that they need the revenue to come in to pay for these people that will jump on board, even if it is a small number. That 3,000 of people, those people are expensive patients to cover for whatever reason. Maybe it's a pre-existing condition, medication, whatever. They need the revenue to be able to cover the services those people need. And if people get a pass on having to jump on board, the revenue's not there. So it's a lose-lose for the American people and true health care.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And hopefully what they do is they break the system enough to where we actually fix it. And we actually will fix it with having less insurance and not more insurance. Right. The funny part is that the fix is that there is no spoon, and that we need less insurance, and you need to go to your doctor and pay for the services that you get and only get something like catastrophic coverage, and that the government does need to do a lot more to just get out of the way than anything else.
And just so the listeners know, I don't agree with Alex at all. I say that they will allow the system to completely collapse on itself, and the Canadian type system is the best case scenario that we'll end up with. Oh. They will manipulate these doctors, and they will threaten these doctors with what's called their UPIN number, their registrations and their licenses, in order to get any money. And if they don't play ball, they're not going to be allowed to be in that cash system. I'm telling you now, they will not be allowed to keep their license if they go to the cash way. Now, there might be ways around that. There might be homeopathic type things that they will allow, whatever people can kind of, back away from, traditional medicine towards something else. I don't know, but that's exactly the model. That's every source that I've ever talked to in researching this. That's exactly where we're headed.
Okay, no. And look, and I hope you're wrong, but I understand why you're going down that road. I do understand why you're doing that, and I do think it's part of it is actually a race, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, you have to get in so many people that are opting out and that are going this way that they can't bust everybody. Again, that's just my opinion on it, but I do understand why you're saying what you're saying, Brandon. So I'll have to.
Well, trust me, it's not what I want to see happen, folks. Just so we're clear, this is not my opinion of what I want to see happen. This is just me being the press guy telling you what I see in the compass of things.
Yeah, no, very good, Brandon. What else is going on